friends, how are we all doing? You know, I love to hear. How has your year gone so far? Because we've now officially made it halfway through the year. If you guys are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Ashton. So glad to have you here. But if you haven't already, press that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. And if you haven't already, hit the like button. It helps me out a ton. And with that, let's just get into the video. So, it is officially Pride Month. Happy Pride! Whoop, 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 whoop. I got my tie-dye Jurassic Park shirt on today. So, I have been out for 3 years, I guess, technically. I came out mid-ish 2021. So, I have had a little bit of time now in the gay dating scene and everything, and you know, I just want to talk about it, okay? Because I have been through, again, a good handful of experiences now before I met my amazing man that I'm with now. But to start out, I had a boyfriend, and he just, I don't want to speak too badly about him, but it was hard. And from that, and then after healing from everything and all that, and giving myself like a good year and a half or so before I went back into the dating scene, I have my list of just icks. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that. I guess talk about my icks, but also I guess my experience in the dating scene, so to speak, too. The gay dating scene, I should say. So some things I've picked up on are, and I mean, some of these things too, I could have them too, you know. I wave my red flags and say, who wants me? You know, like, I'm not going to act like I don't have red flags, because everybody has them. You just have to pick and choose which ones you can handle, you know? First of all, someone who doesn't make effort, you know, it really is true when they say if they wanted to, they would. And I have seen that countless times. I have been stood up. I have had people who talk and talk and talk. We talk for like a month, and then they just drop off the face of the earth, or suddenly decide, maybe not, you know. And it's fine if you don't vibe, if you don't connect, but I don't know, it bugs me when you're all cutesy and flirty and stuff, and then suddenly they're like, actually, and it's like, no, there's an underlying, like, just be honest. You know, just be honest and say, you're not feeling it, there's someone else, there's whatever. But that's been an experience for me too, where I've talked to somebody for a good month or so, and then suddenly they're like, I think we should just be friends. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it if you didn't vibe, but some of these people I didn't even meet in person yet. And it's like, how do you know? How do you know we don't vibe? Like, texting isn't gonna cut it. And that's something that was really big for me when I was, you know, dating around, you could say, is I want to meet you in person so I know, is this gonna go somewhere or not, you know? So that's a big one. If they want to, they will. Make effort. You know, I was born with half a heart, and yet I still will make sure that I put in my effort, that I will put in my percentage, that I will put in the amount of, you know, effort that I can. It's going to be different some days, and there's going to be times where I'm literally in a hospital and can't. But I make up for it, I believe, in other ways, you know, and, you know, my boyfriend now says he sees it and he understands and everything, you know. So listen, if I can put in effort with half a heart, you can put in effort, period. Just saying. Okay. So some other things that I noticed too is, again, these are all kind of things of like, well, yeah, duh, but like communication. Okay. I have had people, again, string me along for months, and then suddenly either I learned something, like, oh, they actually have a girlfriend. That was one. That was a fun one. Or they just play with you. You know, it's like, oh yeah, come over, let's hang out, let's vibe. And then I'm not going to talk to you for a month, and then a month later, oh yeah, hang out, let's vibe. Which, clearly, they're just thinking and talking with their... But it's like, okay, if that's what you want, cool, great. You know, if that's all you want, cool. Communicate that. Communicate that so I don't get my heartstrings attached and shattered or cut or snipped or whatever. You know, I've had one that I really, really thought we vibed, and he even was like, yeah, let's do a second date and everything. And then as soon as I set up the second date, he was like, actually, and I'm like, no. So I literally drove to him and was like, explain. What changed? What changed? You asked for the second date. You planned the first one, so I decided to plan the second one, you know? And then suddenly you're just like, actually? And I'm like, no. You have stuff to work out with yourself, apparently. You know, there's a whole other underlining stuff that I could throw in with that one specifically, but we don't got time for that. So, but communication is really big. And, you know, just throughout my experiences that I've had leading up to my now boyfriend, I'm seeing that, like, as in, wow, communication does magic, you know? Like, I struggle to be vulnerable with people in general. I usually kind of bottle it up, hide it, you know, like my more sorrow emotions, I guess we'll say. I don't want to call them negative, but my more sorrow emotions, and just, you know, I'm a happy person in general, and I'll put that face on a lot, but then I'll hide the hardship until I'm alone. And with my guy now, I've been trying to express those, and it's magic. Like, literally. I mean, from recording this last night, literally, I was like, boo, I'm kind of having a moment. I'm having a little hard night. And he was like, oh, well, let's talk about it. What are you feeling? What's going on through your head and everything? And then I started crying. It was fine, but he was there and he helped me. And then here we are. And to be honest, my emotions are actually from a medication I'm on right now. So, you know, because he was asking, what do you know, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling this. I literally don't know why. And then today, I made some calls and did some research. I'm like, gotcha, okay. Mood swings for the next few months, got it. Okay. Communication, and like, I mean, even on his side too, when he is having, you know, big emotions and whatever, we've talked about it and we've talked through it and everything, and guess what? We're great. We're awesome. You know, it's like, wow. So if people could just communicate, okay? But whatever. What do I know? I just go here. Some other things, I guess, being honest too. You know, I think we all struggle a little bit of being totally honest, because some of us, you know, are worried what the other person's going to think, are worried of what's going to happen and whatnot. And so, you know, there's little white lies in almost every day. I feel like all of us say little white lies at least once every day, just to kind of brush past something or move on or whatever. And, you know, I don't know. I had an experience where I went out with a guy and he was great. He wasn't my type. And, you know, I really just was like, I really only see you as a friend. Like, I cannot see a future with you. And, you know, it's my own personal preferences, and I feel really mean about what kind of was throwing me off about him. But when he asked for a second date, I honestly was honest and said, I just don't think you're my type. And it's nothing against you, because you're an amazing guy. And, like, it was a great time. It was great, but I just don't see a future with you, and I don't want to string you along. And he was like, you know, basically, thank you for being honest, and, you know, thank you for having the courage and everything. Like, he's like, no hard feelings. Like, you know, if we kept going on dates and then all of a sudden you were like, actually, then it would have been harder and whatever. So, and now him and I are friends. Him and I are friends. We don't talk, you know, often, but like ever since that first date, we still talk, and we're keeping each other up to date with our lives. He is so excited and stuff for me and my boyfriend, you know, since. So, you know, I'm like, honesty will get you further in places, you know. It's gonna get you further in different avenues, not even just with dating, but different avenues in life, you know. So that's another one. Just be honest. Okay, I think one of the big ones, you know, everybody's been waiting for me to talk about is the whole hookups. You know, I don't think hookups are very exclusive to the queer community. You know, I think it's just very, like, a lot more broadcasted because of the homophobia and just everything going on around queer people, and just the fact that we even have to talk about trying to exist safely. You know, it is talked about a lot more in the queer community. And I mean, I feel like in general, queer people are just very open, and I like that to a point. You know, sometimes I'm a little bit like, I don't need to know this story, but cool. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, let me tell you my story, you know. I wouldn't say I really got hooked up, no pun intended, in that, you know, did I have a few? Yes. You know, you kind of get to a point in dating where you're kind of like, I just need this quick, you know. And so I will admit, I had my few. I wouldn't say I had a lot, because again, it's not something I am just like love, you know. Like, I get attached to people, you know. I get attached to one person, and so I didn't want to just like keep doing that and then get attached to someone that was never gonna go anywhere. And so, you know, I did have a few where I was like, ugh, you know, I'm a little worried that if I come back to you, things are gonna, for me personally, escalate beyond this. And so, you know, I tried to avoid as much as I could, or just try to stay digital as much as I could. Guys, I've done a lot digitally with people, and it's, you know, again, it's one of those, it does its job, but it doesn't satisfy the bigger picture at all. And, you know, again, I keep just going back to my boyfriend, because he's amazing, and I'm so lucky and blessed and glad that I've found who I've found. He actually found me, but that's a different story for another day. And, you know, it's just, now I'm at a point where I do have this person. I'm like, yes, I'm a horny little bitch, I'll admit that. It's not something like, I don't need it every day or anything. And it's a lot more fun, I feel like, with your person, because you have that connection outside of that. And so, you know, you can literally have these spur of the moment moments where it's just, you have it and it's, you kind of laugh about it, and then you're like, that was great, you know. I mean, in my own experience, it's kind of like, oh, that was great, now I'm going to bed, you know. So it's an interesting kind of culture in general, because a lot of us talk about it and a lot of us are very open about it. And like, I just got back from a trip semi recently, and I found queer people and we all kind of talked about it and stuff. And there were people, there were single people, there were people that were dating, there were people that were married, and still talked about it and everything. And so, I think it's good to be open, but it kind of also is like each individual relationship should kind of have their, what they feel appropriate about, I guess, with each other and what they share. Okay, another thing for me is like, have individuality. I don't know. I've just seen a lot of people where, just because they're in a queer relationship, and this is not me bashing anybody, but just because you're in a queer relationship, that shouldn't be your whole personality. You each should have your own life still, your own personalities, your own interests, your own stuff. Like, I've just seen recently, there's a recent gay couple that I follow that have broken up, and I'm not gonna name names, but if you can figure it out, then good job. And now it's like they made content about their relationship, and now that they're broken up, all their content is about being single and breaking up and whatever. And it's just like, I get it, that's life, and it's a big part of their lives right now. But like, when you're together, please don't make that your whole personality. Like, yeah, I wanted to find somebody very badly. That was something that I want in my life. Like, that is something I want in my life. It's a big goal of mine. But not just for the pure fact to say, oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, I'm with somebody. Oh, I'm in a relationship. It's because I know my life with my heart condition is going to be shorter than the average bear overall. And so I'd like to have that person live my life with before I do go. I do feel bad, and I guess not mean, but in a way guilty, that somebody is going to have to live a shorter lifespan, like amount of time with me. But they also know what they're signing up for. And again, I keep going back to my boyfriend because he's amazing. But we literally had this conversation last night. And that's what he says. He's like, I know what I signed up for. And I'm prepared and mentally ready, and I'm getting ready for anything to happen. But in the meantime, I'm just enjoying the time that we do get. Whatever time you get, we get, so anyway, yeah, just when you're in a relationship, it's okay. It is okay to still be your own person. Like, that's great that you guys love each other, and I'm so happy for everybody that's in a happy relationship, but be your own self still. Okay, I think I've kind of rambled and gone on some tangents, but those are kind of just some things I've seen in the gay dating scene. And my experiences are going to be very different from other people's, and maybe very limited, because again, it's only been 3 years for me. And also to like different places in the world, it's like my little bubble of my dating scene is going to be different than your bubble or somebody else's and stuff. This is not speaking for everybody. This is just purely from my experiences. So sorry, Mike. So sorry. But if you guys have experiences or icks, if you will, that you would like to talk about, I love to read them in the comments below. They don't have to be purely queer relationships. They can be just relationships in general, and even not romantic relationships. They can just be like connections and icks in friendships, icks in family relationships. Let's just talk about our icks, okay? I just want to know. So chat it up in the comments. I love to hear, but I appreciate all of y'all watching. Happy Pride to everybody out there, not just queer people, but everybody. Happy Pride Month. I hope you guys have an amazing month. It is the beginning of summer. Summer's my favorite season, so I'm so excited. And yeah, if you guys, again, are new, press subscribe. If you haven't, hit the like button. Helps me out so much. And chat it up in the comments. So, until the next one, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye! Scooby, you have my arm.